So yes, so that did not work out the way that it was supposed to. And then the other thing was that my sweet now, Vegas friends, Kiki and Scarlett from the Mavericks show, they had pitched an idea of me coming to record the Mavericks cast at the stage, at the Plaza Hotel, in the theater. Long story short, it just didn't work out. There was some back and forth trying to make it happen. It was like throwing darts, and the darts were just not landing on the target. And after the dart kept missing, after a while, I was like, let's just stop throwing darts, because I think somebody's gonna get hurt.
MeMeCherry presents a series of fortunate events. Fortunate events. Fortunate events. A series of fortunate events.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody, to the latest episode of the series of Fortunate Events podcast, brought to you by who? It's still me, MeMeCherry, and just me. Actually, me and Honey. Wow, I was just thinking about it right now, and I haven't done a solo podcast, proper podcast, in a long time, probably since the beginning. Definitely not a video one. Talking to the camera by myself is still a new thing. I've been working on it with my Tales from the Deep End. Shout out, check out Instagram or Shorts or TikTok. Anywhere that you can find my short form media, you'll find my Tales from the Deep End, where I tell you about my week as a startup founder with a day job and a dog. But yes, we are still here in the beautiful Virgin Hotel in Las Vegas. It's the end of the trip. This is a recap podcast, I guess, of this weekend and the things that have been happening recently in MeMeCherry land as Honey relaxes before we wrap up our day and head home. So yes, we've been here today. So it's Saturday morning right now, and we've been here since Tuesday. We had quite the whirlwind last couple of weeks. So last week, my sweet dear drag mother, Mama Celeste, hi Celeste, pings me and says, hey, we have Rolling with the Homos this Sunday. Do you want to make a cake for Nikki Jiz? And I said, of course. And then because I'm team too much in my brain, and I'm like, well, I'm in the process of maybe launching a micro bakery and Rolling with the Homos, I just saw a bunch of little mouths that could possibly get fed. And the flavor profiles that were given to me to work with were things that maybe I had worked with, but like not super confident. So I was like, all right, let me test the recipe. So I literally tested 2 recipes, a red velvet cake that I made into a mini cake and some cupcakes. And I actually didn't really like that first one. So I'm glad I tested the recipe, because I ended up making some changes that what I ended up delivering on Sunday for those cupcakes, they were way better. And then a mango tropical chiffon cake that the first one I made was amazing, which was so good, because then when I tried to make it again on Saturday, that one didn't come out right. So then I turned that into cake bites, and then I had to make the cake I chose to. I was able to. I had the gift and the blessing to make the cake all over again. And so I made what I'm calling a tropical cloud cake. And it's basically a chiffon cake base. There is mango whipped cream. There is pineapple, passion fruit curd, and there is passion fruit white chocolate ganache. So I said those in a weird order. So let's start that over again, because I was trying to remember everything. There's a lot of layers, but it's really, really good. So it's chiffon cake. Then it has, I'm like Wendy Williams salivating thinking about it. So it's chiffon cake, which is like a very light, fluffy cake. Then it has a layer of passion fruit white chocolate ganache, which is Oh my God, so good. Then I made some pineapple passion fruit curd out of like Bon Maman, preserves, and then turned that into a curd. And so then that kind of gets put into the layers. And then there's a layer of ganache. And then to close all that in, to seal it all in, there is mango whipped cream frosting. Oh my God, it's so good. And then, of course, I had to make a white chocolate jizz covered in gold because, duh, Nikki Jizz. And then it happened to also be other people's birthdays. So it was great that I made a lot of stuff because it was a lot of birthdays and there were a lot of mouths that got fed that day. And a lot of people said yum. And so Little Batch Company is going to officially be a thing. I'm going to go down the route of getting my permits so that I can officially make the micro bakery official. Yee! To quote somebody that had the cake on Sunday, the chiffon cloud cake, Miss Cherry, I don't even like cake. And this is the best cake I've ever had. Can you please make it for my birthday this summer? And I'm just like, I'm like, I want to cry. It makes me want to cry. It really does. It makes me want to cry. So, but that was a whirlwind week last week doing all of that and preparing for this trip because obviously I'm neurospicy and I leave a lot of things to the last minute. And so I had spent the last, 8 weeks, 6 weeks booking people and arranging people and figuring things out. Oh, actually, now that we're done, we can get into some of the tea. And yeah, it's not even tea, right? It's not even to be shady or to like talk shit or whatever because I'm not a burning bridges person. If anything, maybe it's just kind of like a lesson in patience and that things don't always necessarily work out the way that you want them to. Hey, the baking show that I applied to, I put my butt and heart into it and I didn't get cast at the end. It didn't work out. And so similarly, this trip to Vegas was anchored around two things actually that did not happen the way that they were supposed to. That's interesting. Neither thing happened, but everything still worked out the way that it was supposed to, and it was amazing. So there were two things that this trip was anchored around this time. Specifically, one of them was Jeff Wittick. Shout out Jeff Wittick. Jeff is on tour with his podcast, and this week was supposed to be his tour stop here in Las Vegas. And notice I said was supposed to be. I got an email, bendito, poor guy, earlier this week from the comedy club that it was booked at, that Jeff had pneumonia and had to cancel. So, oh gosh, I felt so bad. I was like, oh, well, obviously, like, duh. And so they rescheduled the date for June, but I don't live here in Vegas. I literally flew out here partly for that. I got the VIP. I was going to prepare like a little merch bag and give it to him and try to convince him to be a guest on the podcast. I was hoping I was going to somehow be able to squeeze him onto the sofa while we were here, but alas, it did not work out, and that's okay. I hope you're doing well, Jeff. I hope you recover quickly. Please get better. You're a very hardworking man, and I hope that you feel better. And who knows, maybe I'll try to like just fly out here for the night and still come out to that show. But I got my refund for now because I don't know. So yes, so that did not work out the way that it was supposed to. And then the other thing was that my sweet, sweet now, Vegas friends, Kiki and Scarlett from the Mavericks show, they had pitched an idea of me coming to record the Mavericks cast at the stage, at the Plaza Hotel, in the theater. Long story short, it just didn't work out. There was some back and forth trying to make it happen. It was like throwing darts, and the darts were just not landing on the target. And after the dart kept missing, after a while, I was like, let's just stop throwing darts because I think somebody's going to get hurt. And I just pivoted and I said, you know what? It's okay. I'll just get everybody to come to the suite. And so I just pivoted and went into full mode of just making sure that I had people booked for the suite. I had a goal of 8 guests for this trip to make it worth the investment, because this is an investment. Yes, this is a beautiful suite, and yes, I pay for it all myself, but I pay for this with my cute little day job money. And so it has to be worth it, right? So for the math to be worth it, I set a goal of 8 guests. I had 7. So this is my 8th podcast right now to make the 8 podcast goal for this week. Ding, ding, ding. So thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. Thank you, Virgin Hotel. I love this hotel. I really Like, if I could afford it, I would come out here probably every few months and stay in this exact suite. I love this suite. The patio is gorgeous. There's a fireplace. It's right next to the pool, but it's kind of like the quiet area of the pool. And it's just so nice. I really like it. I keep asking everybody how they like living in Vegas. Through line is everybody loves it except for the summer. So, yeah, who knows? I'm chasing an ever present summer, so I like the warm weather. I've been sitting in the patio as much as I can. But yeah, 122, 120 in the summer feels brutal. And I don't know if this little one could survive that. So who knows? Maybe I think we just come out here in the spring and in the fall, maybe. But definitely in the spring. This feels very, very nice. So on Tuesday, I did my little day job. We wrap up work. We call an Uber. Oh God, that was a whole thing. I call an Uber. The first one cancels. The second one is like taking forever to come. I had to cancel him because he just was not showing up and I was going to be late to the airport. I already was late. I ended up just calling an Uber Black because I knew that like, okay, pay extra for the black. Just tell the driver that you're in panic mode, that you're running late, and to get you to the airport. And he got it. He got the message. He understood the assignment. He got me to the airport. Thankfully, I have Clear too, so we got through to the coach. Because the thing is, at the airport, I have to check the bags that have all the equipment, and because Honey's a service animal, I also have to like check her in at the counter, and they have to like verify her paperwork. So it's like a whole thing. But thankfully, I have Clear, so we got through the TSA pretty easily. And we got to our gate and we boarded. It was a relatively empty flight. It was great. Like Tuesday, early evening, Oakland to Las Vegas. It was so empty. They made us spread out through the airplane. And so, yes, so we landed Tuesday night. And another thing that I love about flying into Vegas is that like you literally land into the airport and you're in Vegas. Like when you fly into SFO, you're on the outskirts of San Francisco. And then if you live in the East Bay, like I do, that's another little trek. Like that's quite a leg on your trip to get from SFO home. And like this summer when I fly to London for work, like when you fly to the London airport, you're outside of London and then you get into a cab or a train or something and you go into the city. Here, Vegas, it feels like I'm flying into the hotel. But the other thing is that you do hear planes flying over a lot, which is fine. You kind of it becomes part of the atmosphere. I don't mind it actually. And so we got here Tuesday night, checked into the hotel, checked into the beautiful suite. The staff is always very nice and lovely. Woke up Wednesday morning, went to the gym, had a nice workout. The gym here at the Virgin Hotel is very nice. Actually, as soon as I finish this podcast, that's what I'm going to go do is go sneak in another workout. And yeah, it was actually funny. I've been doing this gym thing now for about a year and a half. Shout out Millie Rock and shout out Coco and the Ladder app, because between the two of them, I've embraced, pushing and pulling not only weights, but like heavy weights. And the thing about hotel gyms is that they usually just have one set of each weight. So like one set of 5s, one set of 10, 115, 120, 125, you get, right? And so I go saddle up to the weights to go do my workout. I'm doing an upper body workout. And I usually fluctuate between 10, 15, and 20. And 20 tends to be my max. I can pull out a 25 now recently once in a blue moon, but it's usually with my trainer, right? Spotting me. And so I saddle up to the weights and there's only 115. There's a guy using the 20s and then there's the 25s. And I'm like, fuck. All right. There's only 115. I need 2. I can do it with 20. I'm doing the chest press. All right. So I asked the guy, I'm like, young guy, I'm like, hey, can I please work in with you? And he's like, sure. And so I grab the weights, I pump out my 5 chest press, and I'm like, you know what? I think I can actually do 25. And I just gave it back to him, and I was like, thank you. And I just go and I grab the 25s, and then I just bang out the next 4 sets of 5 reps of 25 in each hand of a chest press, right? And then I put my little weights back, and then I continue to do my routine. And at one point, I'm doing a kneeling wood chop, and a gym bro comes by, and when I finished the chest press at the 5th set, I was crying a little bit of a little baby cry, and he gave me the bro fist pump, you got it, good job. And so when I'm doing the kneeling chop, he comes by and he says, so how long you been lifting? How long you been lifting heavy? And I said, about 14, 15 months. And he's like, oh yeah, it's great. It's amazing what it does. You know, my wife started lifting heavy and it's been great for her. You know, she was doing all that Pilates and cardio. And I'm like, well, I do that too. He's like, yeah, I mean, but lifting heavy is good. And I'm like, I know, right? And he's like, yeah, so the movement you were doing. And anyways, he like gets on his knees. He shows me like, wow, that's weird. He got on one knee to show me a move that like I was doing with a weight that I could do with a cable. And I love that kind of gym culture, like the nice, helpful, gym bros or gym ladies or gym bras that come and like give you something kind and helpful. So shout out guy at the gym for coming to say hi and giving me a new workout. So that was Wednesday morning. Then I worked on the patio. I came in and did the day job, got all my work done. Then when I wrapped up work on Wednesday, I sent an Uber to pick up the Scotty Bunny, who is in town for the Mavericks show, who agreed to be the first guest on the lineup. And as soon as Scotty Bunny, so in this trip, as you can see, I'm also alone. It's just me and Honey. I don't have Seamus this time. So I'm in the lobby meeting people, which also was like a learning curve throughout the process. Because the first couple of people, so Scotty, I had called the Uber, so I knew where to pick Scotty up. So I'm like waiting up at the front where the Ubers drop off to go pick up Scotty Bunny. And so Scotty Bunny gets out of the Uber and he's just, material and energy and presence and just an artiste and just an artist. And I said it a few times that I felt like this was the closest to ever meeting Andre Leon Talley, but like a white guy. And he was fabulous and just like, you can just tell that this person's an artist. You can tell they're a performer. They were like saying hi to people as we're walking by and just like commenting on this and that. And you'll see the podcast is just a wild ride. Another thing that I loved about this week is, I did a lot of prep because I like to prep for my guests, but my favorite podcasts are the ones that I start with my notes like this. And then 5 or 10 minutes in, I go like this, and we just go. And then I pick them up maybe for like a game or something like that. And so Scotty Bunny was definitely one of those that like I had my notes. I think with Scotty, I probably barely used any of my notes. I think I might have just used the games. And so then Scotty went on their merry way. And then the talented, my other now Vegas friend, the April Brucker, came with her puppet children. And she's just so good. And like I find myself sitting here, and let's say that Honey is April and the bag is the puppet and she's doing her ventriloquism, and I just find myself looking at the puppet like the puppet's talking to me. And then I hear my brain like, Manana, look at the woman that's actually doing the talking. And I just have to and my little eyes just end up going back and forth. And then I just can't help it. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's just so good. She is so good. And we had a great time. I ordered 2 of her books in the mail from the last time that she was on to now. And so we got to talk about a bit about those books because she has other books. She has written many books. And she's a great writer. The material just jumps off the page. She's really, really good. And so that was Wednesday. And I've been rambling and I forgot to set an alarm. So I'm going to go ahead and go on a quick commercial break. I thought this was just going to be like a really short one. And I'm actually getting really comfortable with this. Who knows? Maybe you'll get more solo podcasts. But stay tuned for probably a very gay break.
I was wondering, do you remember that you have a Patreon?
Wait, I have a Patreon?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Not only do you have a Patreon, but you also have a certain level of each Patreon that each person can aspire to become.
Yes, you can aspire to be one of my patrons.
What is the first level?
Well, I'm so glad that you asked. The Honey level. And in the Honey level, you're going to get a sticker in the mail. You're also going to get production credit.
Hey.
And you also get access to hot cam footage, editing footage that used to end up on the editing room floor digitally that now ends up in your hot little pockets in your honey level of the Patreon.
What
Yes.
is the second tier?
We have a sugar tier. In the sugar tier, you're going to get not one sticker. You're going to get 2 stickers in the mail every month. You're going to get the production credit.
Hey.
You're going to get the hot cam footage.
Okay.
But you're also going to get the new Patreon exclusive What's in My Snurse and or just other Patreon exclusive content that would not be at the honey level because honey, you're okay, but you're not sugar. If you take sugar and you throw it in a pot, put a little heat on it,
Okay.
you get caramel.
There's a caramel tier now?
That's the top tier.
Okay. I have to know what is in the caramel tier.
What's in the caramel? You get 2 stickers in the mail every month. You know that you also get a little note handwritten by me?
What?
Yes, everybody gets a note with the stickers.
Well, that's fun.
I mean, it's like Christmas. I told you.
Okay.
You get the stickers. You get the production credit because you're what? A producer.
Hey.
You get the hot cam footage. You get the snurse footage. You get the other Patreon exclusive footage. But you also, and we are coming up on the first drop of these that people are going to get t-shirts in the
goodies.
mail because every 6 months, the caramel level gets a t-shirt in the mail. So yeah, so that is the Patreon.
Patreon.
MeMeCherry presents series of fortunate events.
And we're back. So I left it off. Where did I leave it off? I left it off the end of Wednesday with the sweet, sweet April Brucker. So then Thursday, a little bit of wash, rinse, repeat. Woke up, got work done. Walked Honey. It's been a lot of like making sure that Honey gets her honey time too, because she's my sweet little angel. And I love her so much. So yes. I'm getting lost in my own sauce. So many people. I really did start to get delirious. So Thursday, after I was done with work, the gorgeous, the beautiful, the talented Scarlet Business, also now known as Kyle, because we got to see Kyle this time, came to hang out. And I just adore Scarlett. When I left Vegas last time, I remember telling Seamus, I want Scarlett to be my friend. And now I think I can say that Scarlett is now one of my Vegas friends because Scarlett is just such a doll. Scarlett is just so kind, so generous, such a bubbly energy. Like it's just very me energy. Like Scarlett's giving me, but like in a very talented and contortionist body. And so Scarlett was a fun time. Oh, Scarlett got to taste test one of the cookies that I made because of course I baked literally before the flight. And Little Batch Company is the name of the micro bakery. And like that, so part of what happened this weekend after Rolling with the Homos, Celeste sends me a voice note and she's telling me about how at Roland somebody asked who made the cake. She says MeMeCherry. She's starting a micro bakery, Little Batch Company. And the person says, is it like Little Batch? Like Little Batch? Like you Little Batch? And like clockwork, when I show Scarlett Little Batch Company, like it was like right on cue. Right on cue. Is it Little Batch? Which to me is just so affirming because I did not do this on purpose, but I think subconsciously my brain was like, why yes. And now that this is people's reactions, it's just like, why yes, Little Batch. And so she rated the high protein sourdough espresso chocolate chip cookies that I made. Tune into that episode to see what she says. Or he says, because it was Kyle. And yes, I just adore Kyle. Kyle is just the sweetest, the kindest, the smartest, the talentedest. And if you get a chance to see Scarlet Business performing anywhere, because she does tour. She does perform in Palm Springs and Las Vegas, and we need to get her to the Bay Area. Tito Soto, please book her for Oasis. Sean and Richie, please book her for Fluid 510. And if you have anything else, any other kind of gig that you can book an amazing drag performer who will give you like a 1 2 3, but then will also like contort her body and do amazing splits, please, 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 let's book Scarlet Business and bring her out to the Bay Area, please. Then after Scarlett was done, the other super, super talented Trice B, who we saw at the Mavericks show last time that we were in Las Vegas, and both me and Seamus were just like gobsmacked with his talent, because that voice of his is just, it's an instrument, it's a tool, it's like one of those like, wow, this is like a God-given skill. And it was another one of those podcasts that like I literally had my notes and I went like this, and I think I really only used it for like maybe a game, and I thought I was gonna have to twist his arm to sing, and that man came out the gate singing, and he showed me his full range, and like he showed me, he mentioned throat singing, and I was like, what's throat singing? And then he shows me, and I was like, and like I couldn't help it. I was like, it's like Dune. It's like Dune. And so yes, so the super, super talented Trice B graced us with his presence and his voice and his instrument and his talent. And the sweet Scotty Bunny had invited me and offered me comp tickets to go back to the Mavericks show on Thursday, but I sadly had to tell Scarlett to tell Scotty, say that 3 times, so sorry, I can't, because I still had to finish prepping for my last 3 guests that I had yesterday. And so then that fast forwards us to Friday. And so of course, wash, rinse, repeat, wake up in the morning, think about so many things, go out into the patio, get all my work done. And yesterday was full delirium day, but it actually worked out, because I had, oh gosh. So yesterday was a 3-peat. It was Kiki Maroon. Sweet, sweet, sweet returning guest Kiki Maroon came back to the pod, and she's just such a sweet angel. And she's just so, so sweet. Like so, 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 so sweet. And I used to joke that I loved making people cry on the podcast. And like, we cried, like we almost cried together, but like Kiki got very emotional. We talked about some things that have happened that just, you know, life has been lifing to a lot of us, and Kiki is a survivor, and Kiki is just so amazing and has lived such an amazing life and is just such a hard worker and deserves everything that universe gives her that's good and beautiful and wonderful and full of confetti and glitter and Charlie. And yeah, so shout out Kiki, because Kiki is also a huge reason why I now have this mini network in Vegas. When I came out to Vegas the first time, she's the one that introduced me to Scarlett. She's the one that introduced me to Bella and gave me the tickets the first time to the Mavericks show. And then I got to see Trice, and because I was following the Mavericks account, I got to see Scotty Bunny and reached out to Scotty Bunny. And so, you know, Kiki is a force multiplier, like Carlos King likes to say. And Kiki is a connector, and Kiki is just amazing. So if you get a chance to see Kiki somewhere, she's out here on an extended contract. They just keep extending her contract. But so see her here in Vegas while you can, because I'm sure at some point, you know, she will move on and go take her talents somewhere else. I told her that I'm manifesting that the next time that at some point I see her, we see each other either in Paris or Puerto Rico. So let's see how we can manifest Kiki Maroon and MeMeCherry podcasting in Paris and in Puerto Rico. Speaking of Paris, shout out to La Grande Dame, who came into my algorithm recently, and I am obsessed you know, Drag Race, I love Drag Race, but Drag Race has done so many franchises and it's just exploded so much that I just have fallen off in terms of like watching all the different franchises. And so I did not watch Drag Race France. And so I was not up on La Grande Dame. And they have put out some amazing music, and I've been beyond neurospicy hyperfixated on La Grande Dame. And I made a little video on the patio, just kind of having a little Grande Dame moment, and they reshared it, and I just love it. And so shout out La Grande Dame, because I'm also trying to manifest that when I come to Paris next month, I'm literally, me and my mom are literally taking the train in and out of Paris for the afternoon. But I don't know, maybe you can come have a little coffee with me and my mom and say hi, because that's just how Delulu I am. So anyways, that is Kiki Maroon. That is La Grande Dame on the patio. Yeah, actually yesterday morning while I was working, I was listening to music, drinking my coffee, and I had to record myself dancing to a little Grande Dame on the patio. Then I scheduled actually perfectly in the afternoon, as soon as I was done with work, a duo session. It was a bodywork session and a podcast with a body worker, a personal trainer, Greg Savage, another one who had come into my algorithm with his videos, because he will, record himself working on his clients, and then post videos of it. And so I got to be mic'd up, and we set up on the patio his big pad that he stretches people on. I love assisted stretching. I haven't had a stretch coach for 5 months now, and I could feel it. Like, it was so nice to have somebody just manipulate your body like that. So that was great. And he's very talented. You can tell he's very intuitive with the body. I've had a lot of body work over the years between massages and now assisted stretching and stuff like that. And I'm very picky about it. And he's definitely like a top 5 for sure in that experience. And then we wrapped up the session. We came inside. We had a fun little podcast. He's a good time. He's a chill dude, but he's funny and he's fun. And we had a great time. It was a great energy. And it was perfect because last time I did this podcast sprint, by the end of it, I was getting a little delirious. And when I met Greg down in the hotel lobby, because that's another thing that I learned. This hotel is so big. And there were a couple times that you're like, where am I meeting you? Where are we at? And you're like in different parts of the hotel. So I just started giving like a landmark close to my tower where I'm staying at, and to have people meet me there. And so when I go downstairs to meet Greg, he asks me a question, and all I heard was like borderline me. And me, I'm like, and he can tell that I did not hear, and he's like, how do you say your name? And I said, oh, Mariana, I'm so sorry, I'm delirious right now, I'm hitting a bit of a wall, this is a bit of a sprint, I'm doing a lot. It's like, work, club, another club. Mine is work, podcast, print, cut, paste, work, podcast, walk the dog, gym, work, podcast, paste. And so I was hitting that delirium wall, and our session on the patio. And it's funny, when we first started the session, I was like, little chatty Cathy. And then I just got quiet. And then I got very centered, and I got very present. And then by the time we came into podcast, I was like back in my body. I was no longer delirious. I was able to connect with him. And then he left, and I had just enough time to reset and get ready for my last guest of the trip, who was Shauna Christmas, who is amazing, so talented, so funny, and just so kind and so nice. And now another new friend that I have in Las Vegas. And so Shauna and I had such a great time together. And actually, I'm really glad that I had the session with Greg before. That helped me get grounded, because what me and Shauna were talking about, her special and the material and some of our life experiences, I needed to be grounded, and I needed to be able to look at her in the eye and like actually be present. And so shout out Greg Savage, because that session that we did helped me then be present with Shauna. But that's funny because I mentioned it to Shauna and she goes, "You did a session with that little guy that records people?" And I said, "Yes, I did." That was just such a funny reaction. So yeah, and then I had dinner and we went to bed. Oh gosh. And then the other thing, right? Because the highs are highs and the lows are lows. And when you do enough media and you work with tech enough, you have tech issues. Shout out June's Pizza. We know, right? That's the episode that like gave me the meltdown. And so shout out Virgin Hotels. Because the social media team gave me permission to go film by the pool to do my Tales from the Deep End series that I do every week now on social media to give you my founder stories. And I went to the front desk yesterday morning. I had all my little equipment. I ask for permission. They flag a security guard. Security guard says, yes, no problem. Let me see the email. I show him. He's like, all right, let me take you out there. Lets me into the pool area. And so I'm just nervous because he's standing there watching me. And it's usually just me and my dog that are doing this by the pool at my house. And I can just like, change the angle, take my time, say a line a couple times if I need to. Now he's like standing there watching me. So I'm like, oh God, I got to rush. I got to hurry up. And so I set up my shot. I plug in the microphone. I grab the dog. I start to walk. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot my script. I run back. I grab the script. I run to the other side of the pool. I sit down. I say my lines really quick. I get my lines. I move my camera. I get my second angle. I get my other lines. And then boom, I hit record to stop. No, that's actually when I hit record. I had not hit record earlier. So what I recorded was just me walking out of the pool area like a dum-dum. So there was no Tales from the Deep End from the pool. But what I did this morning was find a quiet little spot on the lawn. I recorded it again. And I think what I'm going to try to do is we still have a few hours and we have an afternoon flight out this time. I'm not doing an early morning flight out of Vegas again. That was madness with Seamus. I'm so sorry, Seamus. And so part of the plan now is as soon as I wrap up this podcast is I am going to work out and then put on my bathing suit and go hang out by the pool. And then maybe what I'll try to do is like get some B-roll at the pool so that it still feels Tales from the Deep End vibes. Right? What do you think? I don't know. You're not here to tell me what you think. So yeah, and then that takes us to today. It's now Saturday morning. It's a beautiful day in Las Vegas. I woke up early, got ready. We went outside, walked around the property trying to find a quiet spot because that's the thing is like with the Tales of the Deep End, I am recording into a microphone. It's not a voiceover thing. I mean, it can be, but so far it hasn't been. And so that's part of the whole thing was that like, I wanted to record myself out by the pool with the microphone. I guess I could do that again too now and just pretend and do the voiceover. It's just so awkward and weird. Who knows? At minimum, I'll get some B-roll because B-roll is cute. But yeah, now I'm starting to ramble because I've gotten to the end of the podcast. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. We are almost halfway through 2025. That is wild. If you are a sugar baby, a caramel baby, or a honey baby on the Patreon, I adore you. I thank you. Your support is so affirming. It really does help in more ways than you know. Obviously financially, because it helps keep the podcast afloat financially, but just my spirit, you help me believe in myself and you help me believe in the power of being silly and authentic and true to myself. And I'm gonna start crying, so I'm gonna stop the podcast now. Patreon.com/MeMeCherry Productions. That is where you can support and help this glittery pirate ship radio sail deeper and bluer seas. SOFEPod.com/live, SOFEPOD.com/LIVE. Get your tickets now for this year's live show. The lineup is wild. And I keep not telling you, and I want to tell you so bad, but I have a very specific marketing plan and I have a hard time keeping surprises. So this is just going to have to be an exercise in patience and in keeping my little mouth shut. But this lineup is just San Francisco, mwah. Between drag and comedy, we have some local legends, we have some icons, we have some amazingly talented performers. So get your tickets while you can, because I am channeling my manifesting powers into a sold out MeMeCherry's Big Bake. So get your tickets while you can, SOFEPOD.com/live. Oaklash is coming up. Actually, I think I'm going to try to put this out the week that Oaklash is happening. So oaklash.com, get your tickets. It's more than likely this weekend, ? If I'm timing this correctly. So get your tickets to Oaklash. Get your tickets to Oaklash. Come see me and my drag fairy friends do drag for many days. That sounds weird. No, let me back that up. Let me actually do this correctly. Oaklash.com, the Bay Area's premier drag festival. Friday night, we have I think it's Gutterbutt pageant. The Diva Dudes are hosting the kickoff party, and it's basically, if you've never done drag, first timers only. It's a first timers pageant. Saturday, we have the block party in Old Oakland. Come hang out with us. We'll have drag. We'll have DJs. We have Evie Oddly from RuPaul's Drag Race headlining this year's block party. Then, after the block party, head over to Fluid 510, my former home of the pod, and come hang out with us for the after party, the after key at Fluid 510 on Broadway in Oakland. Then Sunday, I know it's a park. Check oaklash.com. I know it's a collaboration with there's the Panther Skate group that does the roller skating stuff out there in Oakland, and then there's like kind of like that connection with the roller skating with Rolling with the Homos. So that's the vibe this year of the kickback. And then there's also a health fair involved with that too. So come check that out, oaklash.com. And last but not least, littlebatchcompany.com. That's littlebatchcompany.com. You can't order anything yet, but you can at least go look at it and go poke around. And last but not least, sofepod.com/shop. I have merch that you can buy whether you are part of the Patreon or not. Up to now, the merch has been Patreon exclusive, but now I have a pin that's also a magnet, so you can put it on a magnet surface, or you can also put it as a pin. I actually have it on my bag over there. I'll try to insert here a picture. So get the limited quantity, because I ordered a batch, and then once they're gone, they're gone. The limited quantity of the MeMeCherry's Big Bake combo magnet pin. There's also stickers. I've been making stickers galore. You will still get stickers if you're a part of the Patreon, but maybe you just want a sticker. And so now I have little sticker collections available. There's a dog mom sticker collection. There's a baking sticker collection. So you can get your little themed sticker collections. If you're on YouTube, please leave a little dog print emoji as a hello to Honey. You can leave a flan emoji if you're part of the caramel level of the Patreons, or you wish you were. And if you are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, please leave a review. There's some more amazing guests coming down the line. I did this podcast sprint because things are going to be very busy travel wise the next couple of months. So I won't be booking as many guests, but I do have somebody I'm very, very excited about. I have been trying to book this guest since last year, and it really has been just such a lesson in patience. And lately, a lot of things have been a lesson in what's for you will come for you, and what's not, it's not. And you just let it go, and life will continue, and life will give you what you give it, right? So, I love you. I hope you're doing well, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.